So I've received a tremendous response from my initial intermittent fasting video and also quite a few questions regarding intermittent fasting. So I thought I would make a video with some of the more frequently asked questions, and hopefully you'll find this somewhat helpful. The first question is, does fasting reduce my metabolism? And emphatically, the answer is no. This is the idea of having to eat frequent meals for metabolism is a misguided application of what's called the thermogenic effect of feeding, or TEF. And TEF is based on the total energy intake, not the frequency of meals. So that's a misconception that took a hold in the 90s and early 2000s. But what's most important is that during the feeding window, you get a reasonable or healthy number of calories. That way you're not going to reduce your metabolism. And this is also why eating low-calorie diets don't work in the long term, because after a certain amount of time, your body will adjust to metabolism based on your average number of daily calories. So if you only eat 1,000 calories, you will lose weight in the beginning, perhaps the first couple of weeks. After that, you'll start to see a plateau because your body just decides it's going to burn less calories. Does fat interfere with my fast? For the most part, no. Most experts will agree that eating pure fat, therefore not any protein or carbohydrates, eating just fat will not hinder most of the benefits of fasting. This is a point of controversy in the health food world, but I think research and certainly results have shown that eating pure fat does not hinder many of the benefits of fasting, and especially if your goal is to simply lose weight. Because if you want to lose weight, then really ideally during the fasting window, you're wanting to force your body into the ketone burning mode. Ketones are what your body burns when it runs out of glucose, and you get ketones by breaking down fat. So ideally, you'll always want to go into ketone burning mode during your fasting window. And there's even been some research that suggests certain fats, primarily MCT oil or medium chain triglyceride oil, can actually help trigger your body into a faster transition to ketones. And MCT oil is an integral part of bulletproof coffee. You may have seen my video on that as well. So for the most part, if you need to eat some fat to sustain the fasting period, then go ahead. It's better to eat fat and go through the entire fast than to break the fast and eat carbs and protein and everything else. When does the fasting window start? I get this question a lot, and quite simply, it's after you take the last bite of food. So if you take the last bite of food at 8 p.m., your fasting window starts then. If you are going for a 16-hour fast, then you would not want to eat again until 12 p.m. the next day. That would be 16 hours. So again, just after the last bite of food. What should I eat during the feeding window? The quick answer is it's better to eat whatever you want. Biggest thing is to make sure you're getting a healthy number of calories. If you want the best answer, you want to get the most or the best benefits from intermittent fasting, I would suggest a low-carb or a low-carb paleo diet. The reason for limiting high-carb foods is because your body will burn glucose stores before it will start to break down fat for ketones. And so if you're eating a high-carb diet during the feeding window, then it will take longer during the fasting window for your body to transition to ketones. So eating a low-carb diet, once you start that fasting window, your body will go quicker into the fat-burning mode, and you'll get more of the benefits with intermittent fasting. What is the best fast frequency and length? And the best answer I can give is do what you can. If you can go 16 hours, and that's as long as you can go before you're so hungry, or whatever the case is, then do 16 hours. the longer you can go, the better. The more benefits you'll get, the more time you'll be in that ketone burning mode. As far as how many times during the week, I would say if you do a 24 to 48 hour fast, never do more than once or twice a week. If you're doing 18 hours or less, then feel free to do it every day. I do an 18-hour fast every day. And so I know I eat my last bite at 6 p.m. and I don't eat again until 12 p.m. the next day. And if you do it every day, it makes it much easier. If you break a fast one day, don't concern yourself. Just start the routine back up the next day. Should I exercise during the fast? The answer is yes, if you can. During your first few weeks of fasting, you may find that you don't have a whole lot of energy during the fasting window. This is because your body is not used to burning ketones, and so I would say at the very least, if you can do some walking or take the stairs if you're at work, do something to burn more calories during that fasting window and work your way up. I think over time you'll find you have more energy during that fasting window as your body gets used to burning ketones. And so in the beginning, you may not be up for any intense cardiovascular or anaerobic exercises, but I think over time you'll find you have more energy and you can do more. But the answer is yes. If you can, that's good because that will put your body into that fat burning mode even quicker. What do you do if you've hit a plateau? I've gotten this question quite a bit. If you've started intermittent fasting, you've probably seen some decent results in the beginning, and maybe you hit a plateau after a while. What I would suggest is try to increase your fasting window. If you're doing 16 hours, try 18, maybe even go to a 24-hour fast a couple of times a week. But also, another important point is make sure you're not exceeding a reasonable amount of calories during your feeding window. In the beginning, you may find that you are really hungry by the time that 16 or 18-hour mark arrives, or however length of time you're doing your fasting window. Don't overdo it. I think it's more often than not a concern that people are under-eating during the feeding window, but on occasion you have to be careful that you don't overdo it as well. And also consider decreasing your carb intake during the feeding window as well if you've hit a plateau. The fewer carbs you have, the quicker you'll go into a fasting, fat-burning mode during the fasting window. So those are just a few of the more common questions I've received. I hope that helps. Feel free to watch my other videos if you haven't already. I have one on that's more of an introduction of intermittent fasting. I have one on bulletproof coffee and also one on the paleo diet that you might find helpful. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.